coming up on Mountain News at 6.
A community is coming together to make nearly 300 meals a day for those in need in Johnson County. I'm Alex Casper Peak, and I'll have more on that coming up.
One Floyd County community hopes surveillance video will help catch a burglar.
Tempers flare at Monday night's meeting of the Letcher County Fiscal Court. I'm Matthew Rand. I'll have the story coming up.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Communities are coming together in a time of need in Johnson County to help out those affected by the flooding last week. Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Hensley.
And I'm Angela Reigard. Folks are volunteering at the Red Bush Community Center to deliver hot meals and supplies to those in need. As WYMT's Alex Casper Peak reports, it's yet another example of the community coming together.
Hundreds, if not thousands, of people have found a way to help out those in Johnson County by donating money, supplies, or even their time.
The people who came around with the meals, have came around with water. They've just lent a helping hand, doing everything possible.
The flood that hit last Monday evening destroyed and damaged more than 100 homes near the Flat Gap community.
Some mud in the basement. Took a lot of farm equipment that we had. We've recovered some of it, but a lot of it's really damaged.
Just a few miles down the road, the Red Bush community is coming together to make hot meals and deliver them to those living in their damaged homes.
They've stayed here. They're not going anywhere. They've ate some of them, but a lot of the times my grandparents want it to really accept it because they know that there's people that need it more than they do.
Those working at the community center say they have enough supplies to feed all of those in need.
Taking people that are local and getting them out into the community, spending time with these folks, and then once you can do that, then they're very willing to take some of the needs and what they need to get their properties back in place.
Delivering hundreds of meals a day as a community cleans up Mother Nature's mess. In Johnson County, Alex Casper Peak, WYMT Mountain News.
There are also cleaning and personal supplies available at the Red Bush Community Center for those who need them. People can stop by and pick them up during the day.
The distribution center for supplies for flood victims is on the move. The primary point is moving from Johnson Central High School to Mayo Plaza next to Big Sandy Superstore tonight. The center will open at 8 tomorrow morning. The American Red Cross, Christian Appalachian Project, and other organizations remain in the area to provide assistance. Anyone who needs information is asked to call Jill Stafford with CAP at 606-792-6893. We now know the preliminary damage estimates from the flooding in Johnson County. Emergency management officials say 69 homes were destroyed. 21 have major damage, 8 have minor damage. So in total, about 100 homes were affected, which is what we were told originally as well. Now, we're about 24 hours away from a flood relief concert featuring country music duo Sunday Best. We'll have live coverage beginning at 7 tomorrow night on WYMT, This TV, and WYMT.com. The concert in the Johnson Central High School parking lot is free, but donations will be accepted. We will also have folks taking donation calls right here in our studios. We hope you'll join us for this special event and consider helping your neighbors. The majority of our 4 and 6 o'clock newscasts will also be live from Johnson Central tomorrow.
Weather for the concert looking really nice. Now, as we go throughout the rest of tonight, though, a few isolated showers heading our way. Let's go over to Pinpoint Doppler, and you can see just a little bit of light rain out there. There's not too much, but near Pikeville, a little spotty shower action. Also some hit or miss showers near Williamsburg over to Barberville and Middlesboro. This is all as a cold front is crossing into the region as we speak. That's going to usher in some cooler and drier weather to the eastern Kentucky for the next couple of days. You can see right now temperatures mid to lower 80s, and as we take a look at our camera network, for most of us it's a mix of sun and clouds besides those few isolated showers. So overall, not a bad day of weather out there. We take you through the rest of the evening. The forecast takes those temperatures from the 80s down to the 70s. Once we move those showers out of here, we'll see a little bit of dense fog develop. But guys, the next couple of days looking really nice. We'll have more on that forecast here in a few.
All right, Shane, thank you. A Pike County Ace hardware store owner tells us police are searching for 2 people after they stole from his store Friday evening.
The store owner tells us a man walked into the Coal Run Village store followed by a woman. The 2 later went to a part of the store to look around. That's when the woman left and the man stayed behind, placing chainsaws and trimmers in different locations. Minutes later, the man grabbed 2 saws and a trimmer and left.
It doesn't just hurt us when something like this, it hurts everybody in the whole community, really. As long as they're doing this, we're not going to be the only ones that gets hit. So any kind of help, catching them and putting a stop to it would help us and the whole community.
Officials tell us they stole nearly $1,300 worth of tools. If you have any information about the theft, you can call Kentucky State Police in Pikeville at 606-433-7711.
Now to another crime caught on tape. One Floyd County community hopes surveillance video will help them and authorities catch a burglar. As WYMT's Callie Rainey reports, they also have a warning for the burglar tonight.
Creek community members are worried because of recent burglaries in their neighborhood.
Well, there's been quite a few break-ins in people's homes around here, and we're getting worried and we're scared.
One community member caught the burglar on video. The Floyd County Sheriff's Office and Kentucky State Police are working together to find the person responsible.
Deputies have answered several calls where an unknown person has entered the property, taken mostly work-related equipment, chainsaw, weed eaters, stuff of that nature, and we have had several of those complaints in the recent month or 2.
Community members in the Prater area estimate the thief has hit around a dozen houses. They say it's just a matter of time until he hits more. Authorities have increased patrol.
And for the last month, more so, day and night, we do patrols up in every creek and holler, and hopefully deterred some of it.
Several tips are coming into the Floyd County Sheriff's Office.
Video on Facebook of a male perpetrator on the property who comes under the carport of a home and removes a weed eater in that particular case. So any help from the public would be of great assistance.
Community members on Cecil Branch warned the perpetrator to not even try to come in their area. In Floyd County, Callie Rainey, WYMT Mountain News.
If you have any information, you can contact the Floyd County Sheriff's Office at 606-886-6171.
Well, another theft in Floyd County. Floyd County deputies need your help locating a stolen county vehicle. Sometime over the weekend, a county vehicle was stolen from a water department parking lot in Prestonsburg. The lot is where the county parks their road equipment.
Besides Southern Water, and the truck was taken. Also, a tailgate from another truck was taken as well.
The truck is a 2-door extended cab. There are no markings on the vehicle. Anyone with information can call Floyd County Sheriff's Office. A man who allegedly tried to escape from the Bell County Jail earlier this month is now facing additional charges for other incidents which took place inside the building today. We told you about Kenneth Williams on June 22nd when he was accused of trying to steal another man's phone. We then reported his escape attempt on July 7th. Now Williams is facing multiple charges after jailers tell us they found him with potentially dangerous items in his cell.
It was a toothbrush that had been whittled into a weapon, and from that point we took that, and Mr. Williams now is going to be faced with additional charges.
We will have more on this tonight at 11.
Governor Steve Beshear announced today he was putting more than $82 million of the budget into a savings account. The Budget Reserve Trust Fund will have more than $209 million in it after the transfer. That is the most money the fund has had in 10 years. State Budget Director says the rest of the surplus went to pay for necessary government expenses.
A new state audit highlights deficits, a lack of controls over finances, and other problems at the Letcher County Sheriff's Office. The department's finances created some tense moments during last night's meeting of the Letcher County Fiscal Court. Letcher County Sheriff Danny Webb asked the court to consider an increase in county funding to the department. As WYMT's Matthew Rand reports, County Judge Executive Jim Ward told the sheriff there's no room in the county budget.
In the report, state auditors say the Sheriff's Department needs to enact measures that include improving controls over receipts and payroll, eliminating a $23,000 deficit in the 2011 fee account, and putting an end to commingling money with other public funds to cover expenditures. Sheriff's Department officials say the sheriff asked the fiscal court for $60,000 to cover hazardous duty retirement, which Judge Executive Jim Ward calls double retirement.
They could give up the double retirement and fix their own problems internally. They can elect to do that.
Auditors also found that on 2 occasions, money from drug investigations went missing from evidence. With no additional funding available in the county budget, Ward says he would have to take the money from the pockets of county workers.
I refuse to lay county employees off or cut their health insurance or not pay their retirement so that the sheriff and his department can have double retirement. I refuse to do that.
3 Sheriff's Department employees already received layoff notices earlier this month.
I'm worried if I'm going to have a job. And so is everyone else. I don't want to see anybody lose their job, regardless who it is.
Sheriff's Department officials say more layoffs and cuts to services are likely. In Letcher County, Matthew Rand, WYMT Mountain News.
Judge Ward also noted that over the last 8 years, the fiscal court has paid more than $2.7 million to help fund the sheriff's office. Sheriff Danny Webb was not immediately available for comment. You can read the auditor's report later this evening on our website, WYMT.com.
Patriot Coal wants a bankruptcy judge's permission to reject a change in retirees' health care benefits. Company officials want to reject the company's collective bargaining agreement with union miners. Officials say they would run out of cash and have to liquidate in weeks. Patriot wrote that discussions with the UMWA and Blackhawk Mining on a partial sale are at an impasse.
Tonight, Governor Steve Beshear is again telling Kentucky county clerks to follow the U.S. Supreme Court ruling that legalized same-sex marriage. Some county clerks have stopped issuing marriage licenses altogether, saying same-sex marriage goes against their religious beliefs. The governor met with one of those clerks, Casey County Clerk Casey Davis, who said the governor told him to issue licenses or resign. Today, the governor said the same goes for all county clerks.
If you are at that point to where your personal convictions tell you that you simply cannot fulfill your duties that you were elected to do, then obviously an honorable course to take is to resign and let someone else step in who feels that they can fulfill those duties.
The governor says there will not be a special session to address any same-sex marriage-related issues. The ACLU sued Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis. A federal judge is expected to make a decision in that case next month. Coming up on Mountain News at 6, hoping for the best.
Friends and family tell us about a McCreary County woman who was hurt while trying to save kittens on the side of.
A young McCreary County woman is in critical condition at a Lexington hospital after police say a car hit her and drove off.
It happened Sunday night on Beulah Heights Road near Whitley City. Her mother says 20-year-old Kylie Ball had stopped to check on some stray kittens in the road when she was hit. She suffered numerous broken bones and internal injuries.
Kylie can't breathe. She is responding. She doesn't know what's happened to her. She has no recollection.
The family is offering a $5,000 reward for information that leads to the driver that hit Kylie Ball.
Some inmates in southeastern Kentucky have a chance to receive an education in the form of a GED. One inmate already graduated from the Bell County Detention Center's GED program, and he now serves as a tutor for others who hope to reach the same goal. Middlesboro Police Officer Barry Cowan serves as the program instructor.
I'll have people take the pre-test. Once they complete all 4 parts of those with a successful score, then we'll take them for the actual GED test.
Cowan and jailer Gary Ferguson say they believe there could be more graduates in the coming months.
A new grant could save Letcher County more than $93,000 a year. The Attorney General's office awarded the Letcher County Commonwealth's Attorney's Office a Rocket Docket grant. That grant is worth $20,000 and lasts 10 months. The idea is to cut down on costs for the county. Those who are arrested with a substance abuse problem would be placed in treatment instead of jail. First-time offenders for nonviolent crimes are eligible. The Letcher County Commonwealth's attorney says this would cut down on the number of days taxpayers are paying for prisoners.
It's a good investment for everybody involved. The people are getting their restitution that are the crime victims, the people that have the substance abuse problem are getting treatment, and the county is saving tax dollars.
The program will start August 1st. If the grant is successful, the bank says they will try to get more funding in the future.
Capitalizing on culture, folks at the Apple Shop in Whitesburg discussed how culture can play a vital role in economic development. People from Lafayette University's Economic Empowerment Global Learning Project led the conversation on how Eastern Kentucky can identify its assets. They say it's about allowing the community to take charge of their lives and experiences.
What we have observed here is an incredible amount of latent assets. We recognize that in the Northeast there was a demand for the way in which Appalachian folks were relating to each other with deep humanness, the way in which Appalachian folks could engage in discourse without bullying each other, the ways in which their culture was rich with a lot of messages.
Project leaders say by looking at important aspects of Appalachian culture such as art, music, and storytelling, we can find ways to make money. We will have more on this tonight at 11. Coming up later in sports, we'll check in with Eastern Kentucky head football coach Dean Hood.
There's a lot of experience back on defense for EKU, but hear what Hood says about the offense.
After a little more rain this evening, things are finally going to turn a little drier. Your complete forecast is next.
A break from the rain, drier weather is on its way. Shane, when will we start to see these nicer conditions?
They are going to, well, some places are already seeing it pretty nice right now, just like over at Cumberland on our sky cam. But a few spots still having a few showers, but I'm not expecting too much rain tonight. Let's go to Pinpoint Doppler and you will see just a spotty shower or two dotting the radar this evening. We zoom on into the Big Sandy. A little bit of rain just to the south of Pikeville. That's the only real cell over in that direction. A few scattered showers back over towards Corbin, Barberville, Williamsburg. A little bit of light rain over there. So it's not a ton of rain, and this rain will quickly move on out. But we have seen a ton of rain here in the mountains this July. Our friends over at the National Weather Service in Jackson released a monthly rain report so far this month. As of 8 o'clock this morning, Talbot over in Breathitt County, 11 3/4 of an inch of rain so far. London at the airport there, at the London Corbin Airport, 10.83 inches. That has already set the record for the all-time wettest July at the London Corbin Airport, and that's the third wettest month ever recorded at the London Airport. Those records go back to the mid-1950s. And for a full list, check out WYMT.com. I just posted that up there, or you can find it on our Facebook page. Satellite radar showing just a few pop-up showers and a few clouds over the last 6 hours, but those showers will dissipate as we head into the evening and overnight. Temperatures right now into the 80s. They will fall as we go through the next several hours as a cold front dives into the region. Now that's going to usher in some cooler and some drier air and some much nicer conditions for tomorrow. Check it out. Highs should top out into the lower 80s with plenty of sunshine after a little bit of morning fog. So your zone by zone forecast for Wednesday in the Cumberland Valley looking pretty nice. Plenty of sunshine, highs right around 83 in London and Corbin, 85 down in Monticello. We'll see 82 tomorrow in Hyden, 79 in Whitesburg, 81 in Hindman, 80 in Beattyville, and in Paintsville, 81 degrees for a high temperature. That's going to be perfect weather for the Sunday Best Concert. Slight chance of storms on Thursday, especially south of the Hal Rogers Parkway, but I think most of us will be dry. And then we go back to typical summer weather for the weekend, guys.
Should be very comfortable for the concert. Not even really much humidity.
Yeah, low humidity, plenty of sunshine, low 80s. You can't ask for anything nicer in July.
You really picked a good day for it. Shane, thank you very much. We'll be there live tomorrow night. Up next in sports, Mark Stoops goes through the car wash at ESPN.
Stoops visits the Sports Center crew to talk about what he expects during the quarterback competition at camp.
This is WYMT Mountain Sports, your home for the Kentucky Wildcats and local high school sports.
Up until last year, the Kentucky football program had not had the same quarterback start every single game since Andre Woodson in 2007. So Patrick Towles becomes the starter last season, wins 5 games, and makes Mark Stoops, his head coach, look great. However, Towles yet to get the name tag starter for this season. Stoops does acknowledge Towles has the upper leg, but he wants a healthy competition before he names the starter. Here's Stoops on SportsCenter today.
Well, he's going to have the leg up going into camp, but everything's earned at Kentucky. You know, we need to do that. There's healthy competition at every position. Everybody likes to talk about the quarterback position, but all of our spots need to be earned. He'll take the first snaps with the ones and have a great opportunity like he did last year to win the job, but competition's important to us.
Oh, you want Towles' autograph? Well, go to Kentucky Football Fan Day. That's set for Saturday, August 8th, free of charge. The autograph and picture session will start at 9 a.m. in the Nutter Fieldhouse, and then you can walk on over with the coaches and players around 10:45 and watch the open practice at the field. Well, the Ohio Valley Conference Offensive Player of the Year last year is the preseason favorite to win it again this season. Deshaun Mobley, the transfer running back from Kentucky, will have a final go at it this year in Richmond. 9 yards shy of hitting the 1,500-yard mark last year. Mobley can increase that number with help from his O-line, but all but one starter is back on the O-line, and that's something he and head coach Dean Hood are looking forward to.
When I came from Kentucky, they just brought me in with open arms, and they accepted me as I was. They didn't judge me when I first came in. They just took me in. Biggest challenge, probably just staying focused and just know our goals.
Well, you know, offensively, we got Deshaun Mobley coming back, which is a huge plus for us. You know, a factor in the conference race is going to be who stays healthy. You know, especially at the FCS level. You know, injuries can dramatically change your season in a hurry. So, you know, we got Deshaun coming back. If we can keep him healthy, you know, that's good. Good for the Eastern Kentucky Colonels. Offensive line-wise, we got everybody back. Lost Dustin Crane, you know, one starter. So, you know, that's always good news to a running back when he's got his entire offensive line coming back, and we've got all of our receivers coming back as well.
Reds Cubs will have highlights at 11 tonight.
Thanks, Jamie. We'll be right back.
Thanks so much for joining us for Mountain News at 6. You can always find the latest on WYMT.com. The CBS Evening News is next. Good night, everyone.
Good night.